Everyone saw the janitor crying in the back row, but only the USMC captain recognized the tattoo on his wrist because it belonged to a hero the military believed was dead. No one at Oak Ridge High knew the janitor's real name. To students, he was Mr. Nate, the quiet man who swept the halls before sunrise, repaired flickering light, and always smiled even when his shoes had holes and his lunch was only whatever he packed the night before. But today, Nate Matthews wasn't sweeping floors. He was standing in the back row of the auditorium, hands shaking, eyes locked on the stage where two identical girls in navy blue gowns were searching the crowd for him, his daughters, Emma and Elise. They were everything he had, everything he lived for, everything he fought for, even when life hit him so hard he nearly didn't survive. As the ceremony music swelled, Nate tried to keep still, but a tremor ran up his wrist, tugging his sleeve just enough to reveal the faded ink beneath. A simple black and red Marine insignia, nothing special to most. But to the right eyes, it was unmistakable, the Reaper's mark. 3rd Recon. Special Ops. A tattoo only given to 6 men. Only 3 were confirmed alive. Nate quickly tugged his sleeve down. He didn't want questions. He didn't want attention. He wanted to watch his girls walk across the stage, take their diplomas, and forget the years when he could barely feed them. He remembered nights hidden under an abandoned truck on the outskirts of the city because they had nowhere else to sleep. He remembered microwaving gas station noodles when that was all he could afford. He remembered pretending to be brave while his daughters cried in the back seat of the car they called home, but they never complained. They never blamed him. They only held his hands and said, "Daddy, we'll be okay. We're the Matthews team." And today, their team was winning. When Emma spotted him, she broke into the brightest smile he'd seen since their mother passed. Elise waved, both arms wildly, almost knocking her mortarboard off. They were strong because they had each other, and because he had promised that losing their mother wouldn't destroy them. But just as Nate felt his heart swell with pride, someone moved unexpectedly. A woman in full Marine dress, Blues Captain Amelia Torres, strode down the aisle toward him. Her eyes were locked on his sleeve, her jaw stiff, her steps sharp and deliberate. Nate froze. He knew that walk. He knew that look. It meant trouble, military trouble. She stopped right in front of him. "Sir," she whispered, staring at his wrist, "where did you get that tattoo?" Nate swallowed, struggling to breathe. "I earned it." Captain Torres blinked hard, her face turning pale. "Impossible," she said. "The man who wore that mark died 12 years ago." Nate's heart pounded. He wanted to disappear. He didn't want his daughters to hear anything. Not today, not on their day. "Ma'am," he said quietly, "please, not here." But it was too late. The captain reached for his forearm. "Sergeant Nathan Matthews, is that you?" The world was spinning. The air felt thin, and on the stage, his daughters stopped smiling. They saw the captain. They saw their father's face. They saw everything changing in an instant. The past he'd buried was coming back, and it wasn't coming quietly. When the captain demanded the truth, the janitor finally revealed the secret he had carried alone. A decorated war hero chose to disappear, and how his twin daughters unknowingly saved his life. Captain Torres escorted Nate outside, away from the crowd. He didn't resist. After all, what was there left to fight for? His life was no longer a battlefield, his daughters were. And he would die before letting them suffer again. She faced him beneath the graduation banners. "Sergeant Matthews, you were declared Kia. Why didn't you come home? Why didn't you contact the Corps? The country still honors your sacrifice." Nate's throat burned. He had lived 12 years without telling a soul, but now the truth was clawing out of him. "Because I wasn't the man who deserved the honor," he whispered. "My team died because I gave the wrong call." Captain Torres stared at him, stunned. "When the blast hit, everyone thought I died too. I should have. The only reason I survived," his voice cracked, "was because my best friend fell on me when the second explosion hit. He shielded me. He gave his life for mine." Nate clenched his jaw, struggling to breathe. "When I woke in the med tent, I heard the doctor say they had one unknown survivor with no ID. Burns. Shrapnel. Unrecognizable." Torres nodded slowly, remembering old classified reports. "And you stayed that way?" "I did," Nate said, "because facing the families, facing my team's children, I couldn't do it. I couldn't tell them their fathers died because of my mistake. So I disappeared." The captain stepped back, shaken. "You built a new life, as a janitor." "No," Nate said. "I built a new life as a father." He looked toward the gym doors where his daughters were anxiously searching for him. When my wife died, the girls were babies. I was broken, grieving, homeless. But they needed someone who wouldn't quit, someone who didn't care about medals or rank or titles. Someone who showed up even when he was hurting. He exhaled shakily. I didn't need to be a Marine anymore. I needed to be their dad. Captain Torres felt something shift inside her. Sergeant, your team didn't die because of your call. I've read the files. I know the truth. You saved 7 civilians that day. You saved 2 rookies. You gave a warning 30 seconds before the ambush that kept half the unit alive. Nate blinked, stunned. No, he said. Those files must be wrong. They're not wrong, she said firmly. You weren't a failure. You were a hero. Nate's chest tightened painfully because for the first time in 12 years, he felt the weight lifting. But then Captain Torres added, and your daughters deserve to know who their father really is. The gym doors opened again. Emma and Elise ran toward him, tears streaming. Dad, we thought, why are the Marines talking to you? Are they taking you away? Nate knelt, holding their faces gently. No, he whispered. No one is taking me anywhere. Captain Torres stepped forward, offering the girls a respectful salute. Your father, she said softly, is Sergeant Nathan Matthews. A hero who saved lives. A man we've been searching for over a decade. The twins gasped, looking at their father in disbelief. Dad, why didn't you tell us? Nate fought tears. Because I didn't want you to grow up proud of the Marine I used to be. I wanted you to grow up proud of the man I'm trying to be. Emma hugged him first, sobbing into his shoulder. We were always proud of you. Elise joined them, wrapping her arms around both. You're a hero, not for what you did then, but for everything you've done since. Captain Torres cleared her throat, blinking back her own emotions. Sergeant Matthews, the Corps wants to honor you properly, but more importantly, I think your daughters already have. Nate looked at his girls, his world, and felt something he hadn't felt in years. Peace, relief, forgiveness, not from others, for himself. At the end of the ceremony, the school principal gave Nate a front row seat for the final announcement. And now, our last recognition, he said, to the father who attended every meeting, every late-night rehearsal, every game, the man our staff calls the quiet guardian. Congratulations, Mr. Matthews. The whole auditorium rose in applause. But Nate didn't hear them. He only saw his daughters walking across the stage, proud, strong, unbreakable, his girls, his legacy. And for the first time in 12 years, Sergeant Nathan Matthews stood tall, not as a soldier, not as a janitor, but as the father he always prayed he could be.